get into our banter takes. So this is where we do our hottest takes of the week. No prep, no warnings, no idea what's coming next. Each week, we're going to bring our hottest takes to the table without telling each other beforehand. So every reaction you're going to see, every disagreement, and every meltdown is completely real. Some takes will be smart, some takes will be terrible, and at least one of us is probably going to upset an entire fan base. So we'll get into our takes.
All right. Got my take here. AI won't ruin gaming. It will finally make NPCs feel alive. Yes, this is what's got me honestly so hyped up for gaming of the future, GTA in particular, because I feel like GTA is going to be pretty groundbreaking with the usage of AI. We'll see it here and there. Like, for example, we have our gaming segments, no doubt. Like, and we had a very fun gaming night this past weekend. Real fun. And shout out Backrooms, great game. But for gaming and AI altogether, we've seen terrible usage of it. Call of Duty, terrible. With their banners, it was terrible. The art was not right. But then you move into using AI probably the right way, and you have it streamline computerized lives. Perfect for Dwight Schrute's Second Life. And it's a great way to we've heard rumors of daily schedules, interactions, they remember you, live streaming, you get viral, all that fun stuff. And I mean, there's just a zillion different ways that you can do it. I mean, GTA is going to be one. It's going to be groundbreaking. Then let's see how we can maybe influence it in the like sports games, for example. Will we get more fan interaction in the future where, it's you have your player, he's going to the locker room. You, based off of your performance, AI can quickly generate like a fan reaction, like, dude, you're freaking 3 of 25 from 3. You suck. And, just cuss them out, whatever. Thought of that on the fly. That's actually a really good idea.
That's a good idea.
We trademarked it. Hit us up if you want the more ideas. We got plenty. But, just thinking of that, like, I would love that. I think that'd be sick. And then if you could have like, how 2K does it, they have like those lines show up and you choose what your response will be. You get into it. And perfect, because use it to auto generate. Obviously, I'm sure the only thing you'll be having to play online. Everybody does these days, anyways. And then just connect it through that. Have some type of engine. Make your own AI. I think GTA is making their own AI, right?
I think so.
See, it's going to be so badass. But then I don't know how many lakes you have to drain for it. That's one. I don't know. I'm sure the cost is absolutely insane of creating your own AI. Maybe it's not. I'm not too sure. I'm sure it is though. So, but these companies have it. And I think that this is just going to be the start of it. So again, we're a big AI podcast. We're big fans of it. And I think that this is going to be a great way to do it. Just move beyond the art and whatever Call of Duty tried to do, just do the opposite.
Yeah, no, I truly think, like I say, there's good and bad to AI. We've seen some of the good, we've seen some of the bad. We're big AI fans. We use it at times just to help us make some work quicker. But then, like I said, a lot of our stuff just comes naturally. But with video games, I think the NPC mode, it's going to be amazing. I'm so stoked for that because the NPCs back in the day with a lot of gaming in general, not just this game, it's been so bland. Like I said, you already know what the NPCs are going to do. It makes it boring. And honestly, it's the same thing with like Battlefield. When the lobbies don't fill up, you get bots. Man, with AI technology, these bots are going to be just as good as some of the top players, and it's going to make gaming so much funner because when we have those bot lobbies, we know we're getting a bunch of kills. It'll be an easy win. But when these bots learn, and it's like, okay, we know how Tim plays. We know what he's going to do. He's sniping, so we're going to be, countering the sniping.
Don't call me out, too bad.
It's like they're gonna it's gonna make it harder, more challenging, and just a more fun experience gaming wise for all of us. So GTA, it's gonna be great. We're gonna get some of these NPCs probably to start really fighting us when we run over something, or just honk at them. Getting aggressive. And I really think of this like the one movie I've always enjoyed watching, Ready Player One. I honestly think GTA is getting us into that place where this is going to be like a place, almost like you say, Dwight Schrute. It's a second life. It's a second life that we're going to have in GTA. Spending money, going to get gas, going to do missions, going to work, getting haircuts, all of that, and it's going to be fun. Like I say, I'm excited, but like I say, I think AI is going to be great for this type of gaming when they use it correct.
For sure. Yeah, and I feel like that dynamic will also make the story mode a lot more fun too. It's we've seen it in the past with GTA, for example, where you choose certain routes and it affects the story of the game. That is going to be like on absolute steroids when it comes to this. Like, I'm sure it'll adapt to like your player chemistry. Like, oh, dude, this guy, I mean, force of habit. Just whenever I put in GTA, I am just a massive road rager. Like, I will, hit people's back bumper, spin them out. It's just a ton of fun. And AI might begin hating me because of it, but whatever. And it's going to say like, oh, dude, this guy's aggressive on the roads. We all are. Nobody follows the rules, but it's just one of those things where I feel like that they could use AI towards that, and then it'll affect the chemistry of the game. The directions of things, how people react to you when you're going on a mission. Maybe it'll influence the way online. Hopefully, I mean, I haven't seen anything yet, but I'm assuming there's going to be either the casinos coming back or something close to it, and hopefully it's just like a full on Vegas kind of thing,
Yeah.
where it's more than just that, like more than just one casino. Maybe we'll get multiple, and we'll get sports books in there. That'd be sick.
Yeah.
But yeah, when you enter the casino, it's like, oh yeah, John, the high roller's back, blah blah blah. You get like a certain welcoming, you
Yeah.
know. Who knows, man? It's literally endless, and it's really honestly, once all the AI is set up, I feel like it's pretty easy. You just kind of let it do its thing, and then you just set the what like the boundaries to what the responses could be, or else it'd be
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they'll find ways to limit it, but it's like you just got to let AI develop itself and let it learn, let it build its brain, and it's going to make that experience so crazy. But like I said, but then that's sort of the scary piece. It's like when like Aiden Ross saying he's going to have his own server that you actually can make money and get rich playing. What info are you going to give that AI is going to get? How are you going to be able to control that piece? These people doing these side servers that aren't, Rockstar. Um, it's probably where it gets a little dicier, but AI, man, like I said, there's a lot of hate towards it. A lot of people that do like it. I'm a fan of it for certain things, and I think gaming, when you like you say, when you do it right, don't do it like Modern Warfare with those whack ass banners, but you do it right, it's going to make gaming experience so much more fun. I could only imagine Fallout 5 whenever that comes out in like maybe 10 years with the AI, all those NPCs and missions. It's just going to make that world so much better and so much more fun. And even though right now Fallout 4 or Fallout 76 still a big played game, like I say, I can see Fallout 5 probably being the next one, next to either what Red Dead Redemption or Elden Scrolls, to sort
Mhm.
of take over that GTA spot.
For sure. Yeah, I honestly feel like AI will be primarily best used with these RPG games because it's so easy with the amount of NPC material you have in there, and just how randomized it is, will be the easiest kind of introduction and kind of show the dominance of what AI will be in gaming. And it'll just be really effective. I feel like that it'll enhance the gaming. Like, the amount of gaming hours that people are going to put in now is going to be absurd.
Yeah,
Like it's
it's
and
gonna
then
be
you have
insane.
the yeah, and then you have the introduction of, like you mentioned, what Aiden Ross plans on doing. Like if or maybe some other streamer will come on and do something similar with even more money. Who knows? And you introduce crypto, or and then you have real life currency. It's literally Ready Player One. it's
Yeah,
it's that film coming to life, just minus the VR portion. and
yeah,
and then you get some big wig like wanting to come in, some get Elon Musk wanting in,
yeah,
and he's just got all these like great players, and
yeah.
you know literally takes them all. But that's going to be super sick. Is there any other, like, we kind of discussed like sports, like what other introductions of AI usage would you like to see, like racing, or do you feel like there's any others that
Oh.
might benefit a lot?
I think sports, the way you sort of gave the example, would probably be the first one I would want to see.
Mm-hmm.
Really getting the fans to start talking smack to you in the game, because it's actually what we do when we go to the
Oh
games.
yeah.
When our players do bad, you sort of yell,
Yes.
and it's sort of depending on how your team's doing. If you're in a home crowd, if you're in an away crowd, you know. Um, I can't think, and then like I mentioned, RPGs like Fallout, Elder Scrolls, Red Dead Redemption. I think those would benefit a lot. Um, like I mentioned, shooting games, when it comes down to bots, when you don't fill the lobbies, because that does happen a lot. After that, I don't know about racing games. That one's a little, just not as dynamic. I would say they're still fun.
Mm-hmm.
Could it make it a little bit better and more challenging? Possibly. But like I say, I think you could do it for everything.
Yeah. I another thing I've been thinking about was, we kind of touched on it briefly last week with GTA, is the dynamic weather. And I think AI will be able to help control a lot of that too. Like, hey, it's mid-December, more rain will occur, and maybe more rain will occur in certain regions of the map where like it rains 90% of the time here, 10% of the time here. I'm a big nerd when it comes to weather. I like weather and geography. I don't know. Don't ask me why. I just kind of have a fascination towards it. I just feel like the aspect of being able to go from one part of a game, the weather starts turning, and then it stays consistent, versus like we saw it in the last GTA. Yeah, the weather changes, stuff like that, but it's the same throughout. Like you're going to get the same weather end to end on the map.
Yeah,
If it could be dynamic in that sense. We mentioned natural disasters. Like I think that they're talking earthquakes, tsunamis, things like that. Don't know how legit that is either, but that's another thing that could be kind of cool. To see how it affects the game and the way you play, and then also, um, I think, if I'm not wrong, I heard that this past week that the new college football game is going to have dynamic weather, where
okay.
the weather's a certain way at the beginning of the game, changes throughout. And I
Throughout.
think that's really cool as well,
That's cool. Yeah.
because we haven't really seen that either. Either you
No.
choose a rainy game or not.
Yeah. And it stays the same the whole game. Doesn't change. Yeah, no, that'd be good. I think it'd be cool to sort of see how weather, like especially in GTA, like you say, if it's like windy and rainy, how much harder a helicopter it is to maneuver in that. Because normally, even though it's raining in GTA, helicopters, all those things, easy still to maneuver. There's not much difficulty to them. Bring on that difficulty piece makes it more realistic and just makes it more of a challenge. And like I say, it makes it fun and entertaining.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think at most, you'd get like that like little vibration shake
Yeah,
thing, but it didn't do anything. It was
yeah,
just an element.
yeah,
Yeah, that would be really cool. And then depending on the type of plane you're in, like you're in like a single engine, it's like, dude, you're gonna get whipped around, versus like
yeah,
a 747 or something.
yeah.
See, stuff like that I think would be really cool. So again, it's endless. You could use it
Yeah.
towards NPCs, weather,
Hmm.
you name it.
Yeah. Yeah, and like I say, there's still going to be the conversation, and a lot of people are going to hate this topic because
Hmm.
it's like AI is taking jobs from developers, but it's like, man, I know movies, a lot of things take many years at times, but some of these games take forever. And I think it's the one place where AI would actually help and bring more profit to some of these companies because, like I say, look at GTA. I don't know how much they use AI to develop the game, and they're going to use it in the game. But if you would use some AI to help you create the game, we could have probably had it a year, 2 years ago, not 15 years later. I feel like 10 years later.
Exactly. Yeah, we could have had it a lot sooner. And again, using it to your benefit. John mentioned it. We've mentioned it, on the show. We'll use it for certain things, and it's, we both work full time at the moment. Hopefully this turns into full time eventually. But if you're in a crunch for something, or you need like a little bit of help because you're focusing, more of your attention on something else, it's like the perfect assistant. Not trying to undermine AI and just call it only an assistant. You can be your own person. It's totally fine.
Yeah.
Very independent, but it's useful. In hopefully we find a way to kind of like streamline the environmental thing. I get that aspect of it. Don't get me wrong, but you know, I the benefits are there, and it's. But again, prefacing it in a way that you use it in the right way. Yeah, like we both said, not the Call of Duty route.
Yeah,
Use
not
it the
not the
right way.
Call of Duty route. Use it a better route, but yeah, it's a good take.